English feels like a wall you can't climb, and every day you stay truly silent, you lose another chance to connect with the world. Do you wake up restless, dreading every moment you need to speak? Would you rather stay trapped by your own fear than share your ideas? In this video you will learn exactly how to break free from nervousness, build real speaking confidence, and see yourself change. You will hear simple steps you can try today, feel the relief of speaking clearly, and notice hope in every word you say. Stay with us as we reveal proven ways to practice, track, and transform your voice, so you can bring your thoughts to life, connect with real people, and open doors you never imagined. By the end, you will know how to speak English with strength and pride. Are you ready to begin? Let's get started right now. Chapter 1. Speak English daily with full focus and intention. Most people want to improve their English speaking skills, but very few approach it with the seriousness and focus it demands. They search for shortcuts, quick fixes, or miracle tips, but they avoid the hard truth. If you want to speak English well, you must speak it every single day with full focus and clear intention. Not passively, not when it's convenient, not only when you feel confident. Every single day. That's how you become great at anything in life. Repetition with purpose, and English is no exception. This is not about perfection. This is about commitment. No one wakes up fluent. You build fluency the same way you build strength in the gym, one rep at a time, one word at a time. You do it daily until it becomes who you are. Speaking English must become a part of your life, not something you only practice when you feel motivated. The truth is, the more intentional you are, the faster you will improve. But if you speak without paying attention, without correcting mistakes, without trying to push yourself out of your comfort zone, your progress will remain painfully slow. You don't need to be in an English-speaking country to become a good speaker. That's just another excuse. What you need is daily discipline. You need to be the kind of person who makes the language part of their identity. You need to speak to yourself in English. Narrate your actions, talk about what you're doing, practice conversations in your head. Say your goals out loud. Explain your thoughts clearly. Speak about what you believe. The world's best language learners are not always the most talented. They are the most consistent. They are the ones who build the habit of speaking, even when it feels awkward or uncomfortable. Many people think that they need someone to speak with in order to improve. While that helps, it's not the full picture. What you truly need is the habit of speaking, even when no one is around. If you don't have someone to talk to yourself. Speak out loud in the shower. Describe your day in English. Practice storytelling. Speak about something you care about. Read a book and explain it in your own words. Practice the art of expression, because that's what speaking really is, clear and honest expression of your thoughts and emotions. The better you get at expressing yourself in English, the more powerful your communication becomes. The biggest mistake people make is waiting until they feel ready. They think they need perfect grammar or a big vocabulary before they can start speaking. But that's not how it works. You don't wait for confidence. You build it through action. Confidence is not given to you. It's earned by showing up every single day, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. Every time you choose to speak, you silence the voice of fear. You train yourself to be bold. You begin to respect your own efforts. You begin to believe in your ability to improve. This is how personal growth begins. It's not just about English, it's about discipline. It's about who you are becoming through the process. When you commit to speaking English every day, you're not only improving your communication, you're proving to yourself that you can stick to something. You're building mental resilience. You're rewiring your brain for focus and intention. You're turning a weakness into a strength. And that builds character. Every day gives you a new chance to show up for yourself. Wake up and speak. Use your voice. Say something, anything. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Speak about the day ahead. Speak about what you're grateful for. Speak about what you want to achieve. Speak about your pain, your purpose, your dreams. Give your thoughts a voice in English. This is not just language practice. It's self-respect. It's self-leadership. It's choosing to rise. Don't let fear or shame silence you. Don't let the fear of mistakes keep you quiet. Every mistake you make is a lesson. Every awkward sentence is a step forward. Every time you push yourself to speak when you'd rather stay silent, you grow. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to become better. That requires patience, humility, and the willingness to keep trying when progress feels slow. Fluency isn't a gift. It's the result of invisible hours. Hours spent practicing when no one is watching. Hours spent speaking when it's inconvenient. Hours spent correcting your tone, refining your pronunciation, and building real rhythm in your voice. Speak daily, and over time, your voice becomes more natural. You stop translating from your native language. You start thinking in English. You stop hesitating. You start flowing. This shift is not magical. It's earned. Through repetition, through discomfort, through relentless focus. Speak with focus. That means don't mumble, don't rush, don't speak on autopilot. Slow down. Pay attention to your tone, your clarity, your grammar. Focus on one area at a time. Maybe today you focus on pronunciation. Tomorrow, sentence structure. The next day, vocabulary. This is how you make the process intentional. Random effort leads to random results. Focused effort creates transformation. Make your practice emotional. Speak about things that matter to you. Talk about your goals. Talk about your struggles. Talk about your dreams. Talk about what makes you angry, what makes you proud, what makes you feel alive. The more emotion you put into your practice, the deeper the learning. Language is not just logic, it's feeling. The more you attach meaning to your words, the more natural they become. You begin to own the language. You begin to speak with power. It's easy to be lazy. It's easy to say, I'll speak tomorrow. But every day you skip is a day lost. Speak even when you're tired. Speak even when you're afraid. Speak when you don't feel like it. That's when growth happens. That's when you build self-respect. The world doesn't need more people who start and stop. The world needs people who stay consistent even when no one applauds. If you want to improve your English, build a daily system. Have a time and place where you speak out loud every day. Build it into your routine. Protect it like it matters. Because it does. If you don't plan for it, you'll forget it. You'll get busy. Life will get in the way. Speak first thing in the morning or just before bed. Set a timer. Even 10 minutes of focused speaking is better than an hour of distracted learning. Don't chase quantity. Chase quality. Be present. Be sharp. Be deliberate. You don't need more motivation. You need more consistency. Speak when it's boring. Speak when you don't see fast progress. Speak through the doubts. Keep showing up. That's how you build anything worth keeping. Day by day. Word by word. Sentence by sentence. You're not just learning a language. You're building a new version of yourself. Someone who follows through. Someone who gets things done. Someone who doesn't give up. If you stick with it, you'll start to feel a shift. Your voice will grow stronger. Your confidence will become unshakable. You'll stop fearing judgment. You'll start enjoying the challenge. You'll feel proud of your progress. You'll look back one day and realize that the person you became was more important than the language you learned. Because you didn't just improve your English. You rebuilt your discipline. You built focus. You became someone who finishes what they start. There's no secret formula, no magic method, just this: speak every day. Not passively, not randomly. Speak with full focus, with purpose, with a clear goal in mind. Speak like your future depends on it. Because it does. Every skill you build shapes your opportunities. Every word you speak with confidence opens a new door. Don't let fear hold the pen. You are writing your story with every word you say. Make it a story worth telling. If you want to master English speaking skills, begin today. Start where you are. Use what you have. Speak with heart. Speak with clarity. Speak with discipline. Do not wait. Do not doubt. The only way to get better is to keep going. So go. Speak daily. Speak fully. Speak as if your life is changing. Because it is. Chapter 2. Listen to native speakers and repeat their words. You will never speak with power until you learn to listen with purpose. If you want to speak English like a native, the first step is to listen like one. Every sound, every pause, every tone, every rhythm, they are not just words being said, they are lessons being taught. Native speakers are giving you the exact blueprint you need. They are not holding back secrets. The map is in their voice. The structure is in their words. The fluency you want is hiding in their sentences. But you must train your ears with full attention. You must treat listening like a serious daily ritual. Because if you don't hear English correctly, you will never speak it confidently. Many learners make the mistake of only listening to understand. That's not enough. If you're only trying to catch the meaning, you're missing the deeper growth. You must listen to imitate. You must listen with the intent to repeat. The difference between understanding and speaking is massive. You might know the meaning of 1,000 English words, but that doesn't mean you can say them naturally. It's not just about knowing what something means. It's about knowing how it sounds, how it flows, how it lives inside a sentence. Repetition is the bridge. You listen and you copy. You hear and you echo. That's how your mouth begins to learn what your mind already knows. You have to start listening to native English like a serious student. That means no passive listening while scrolling your phone. No half listening while doing other tasks. That won't take you anywhere. You need deep listening, focused listening, intentional listening. Sit down with a podcast, a YouTube video, a movie clip or an interview, and give it your full energy. Choose voices that challenge you. Choose speakers who inspire you. Listen to the way they express emotion, how they stress certain words, how they pause between ideas. These details matter more than people realize. Fluency is not just built from vocabulary, it's built from the rhythm and sound of real conversations. Once you hear a sentence, repeat it. Out loud. Don't whisper. Don't mumble. Speak with force. Repeat the exact words the way they said them. Copy the tone. Copy the speed. Copy the style. If they speak fast, you try it. If they speak slowly, match them. Your goal is not just to understand, it's to become that voice, for a moment in your own voice. That's how your speaking grows from weak to strong. You are training your muscles, not just your memory. And like any kind of muscle training, this takes time, effort, and daily consistency. You will feel awkward in the beginning. That's normal. Most learners feel like they sound fake or silly when repeating native speakers. That's just your ego trying to protect you from embarrassment. Ignore it. Push through. What feels awkward today will feel natural in a few weeks. You are not here to stay in your comfort zone. You are here to evolve. The people who speak English fluently are the ones who repeat native speakers without shame. They sound strange, they sound stiff, but they keep going, and day by day, their voice transforms. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need a quiet room or a fancy setup. All you need is a source of native English and your voice. That's it. You can listen on the bus, on your walk, while doing dishes, and you can repeat what you hear. Even 5 minutes of daily repetition can completely change your speaking confidence in a few months. But you must do it every day. Repetition is only powerful when it's consistent. Missing a day won't ruin your progress, but skipping often will. This is not a hobby. It's a decision to speak like the people you admire, and that decision must be followed by action. Some people spend years studying English grammar, but never train their ears. And because of that, they speak in flat tones, strange rhythms, and broken sentences. They don't sound natural, not because they aren't intelligent, but because they never learned how English is actually spoken. Books can teach you rules. Only people can teach you rhythm. Listening gives you access to real-life English, the kind that people actually use, not textbook phrases, not artificial dialogue, but living, breathing, everyday conversation. That's what makes this practice so powerful. When you repeat what you hear, you're not just copying sounds, you're learning the mindset of the language. You begin to understand how native speakers think. You notice their shortcuts, their expressions, their flow. You start to feel the language, not just analyze it. And when you speak, your words come out with more confidence, because now you've heard it, you've practiced it, you've embodied it. This is the process of self-mastery. You are not just building a skill, you are sharpening your discipline. Every time you press play and repeat, you are training your focus. You are proving to yourself that growth is possible if you stay committed. This is how you improve every day, not with magic, not with luck, but with small, honest steps repeated daily. Choose voices that match your goals. If you want to sound professional, listen to interviews, TED Talks, or podcasts in business English. If you want to sound casual and fluent in daily life, watch sitcoms, movies, or YouTube vloggers. If you want to sound more expressive, listen to actors and speakers. Select speakers whose voices you admire, study them, learn their habits, and start repeating what they say every day. Do not translate in your head. When you repeat native speech, do it without thinking in your native language. This is a shift that takes time, but it's critical. The faster you stop translating, the faster you begin to speak naturally. You want to train your brain to connect directly to English sounds and meanings. That only happens when you repeat English in English, without filters, without hesitation. You may not understand every word. That's okay. Focus on what you can hear. Focus on copying what's clear. You can always go back and check meanings later. But in the moment when you're repeating, your goal is sound, not translation. Speak what you hear. Trust the process. With time, your understanding will grow. Your accuracy will improve. Your confidence will rise. Don't wait for someone to correct you. Be your own coach. Record yourself repeating sentences. Play it back. Compare it with the native speaker. Notice what's different. Your tone, your pronunciation, your pace. Fix it. Do it again. That kind of self-correction is more powerful than any classroom feedback. You become more independent. You build more awareness. You begin to take control of your learning. Some learners are afraid to repeat native speakers because they don't want to sound too different from their cultural accent. But learning a new language is not about losing identity. It's about gaining flexibility. You are not changing who you are. You are expanding who you can become. Speaking with a natural English flow doesn't erase your roots. It enhances your communication. It allows you to express yourself more freely, more confidently, more authentically. Practice daily. Choose a time that works for you and commit. Set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes. Pick one video or audio file. Listen to a sentence. Pause. Repeat it out loud. Play it again. Repeat again. Then move to the next. Take your time. Don't rush. This is not about speed. It's about accuracy, about developing an ear for detail, a tongue for precision, a mind for structure. Bit by bit, your speech will become sharper. As you improve, challenge yourself more. Choose more difficult content. Pick speakers with different accents. Move from scripted content to unscripted conversations. You'll learn how real people speak when they're not reading lines. You'll notice interruptions, filler words, emotion and spontaneity. These are all part of natural speaking, and the more you're exposed to them, the better you'll become at handling real-world conversations. Celebrate progress. Notice the small wins. You repeated a tough sentence today. You copied a new accent. You remembered a phrase and used it correctly. That matters. Growth is built from these tiny victories, and each one adds to your momentum. The more you celebrate effort, the more you want to keep going. You're not here to speak like a robot. You're here to speak like someone who belongs. Someone who feels at home in the language. Someone who can hold a conversation without fear or hesitation. Listening and repeating is not glamorous. It's not exciting, but it's transformational. It trains your ears, your mouth, your brain. It makes English real. If you commit to this habit 10 minutes a day, every day, you will feel the shift. In a few weeks you'll speak more smoothly. In a few months you'll sound more confident. In a year, you'll speak like someone who belongs anywhere in the world. Not because you're perfect, but because you stayed consistent, because you chose to listen, and because you dared to repeat. Chapter 3. Record yourself speaking and review it often. The fastest way to improve your English speaking is by facing your voice, not hiding from it. Most people are afraid to hear themselves speak, and that fear holds them back from real growth. But when you record your voice and listen to it with honest eyes and focused ears, you open a door that most learners never dare to walk through. That door leads to clarity, awareness, and true transformation. If you want to become a confident speaker, you must be willing to hear every mistake and turn it into your next strength. There is no mirror for your voice unless you create one. Recording yourself is that mirror. It shows you how you actually speak, not how you think you speak. Many people believe they sound better than they do, or worse than they are, simply because they never take the time to listen to their own words with precision. But when you hit record and speak into your phone, your mind, your tongue, and your ear start working together, you stop guessing. You start understanding. You get real feedback from yourself. This process is not about judgment, it's about growth. You're not recording to shame yourself. You're recording to understand yourself. That difference matters. Every time you listen back, you'll hear moments where your pronunciation was off, your sentence was broken, or your tone felt unnatural. Good. That's the point. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to be improving, and you can't improve what you never notice. The act of recording helps you become more conscious of how English sounds coming from your own voice. That awareness alone can shift your entire learning journey. When you start recording, keep it simple. Choose one topic. Speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Don't worry about being impressive. Don't try to sound like someone else. Just speak. You can describe your day, talk about your goals, explain your opinion about something. It doesn't matter what the content is. What matters is that you're activating your English in a real, practical way. You're moving it from your thoughts to your tongue, and then listening to what that process really sounds like. Once you've recorded, listen to it carefully. Not with fear, but with curiosity. Notice your strengths first. Maybe your sentence structure is clear. Maybe your vocabulary is strong. Acknowledge that. Then pay attention to what needs improvement. Are there words you keep mispronouncing? Do you use filler words too much? Are your sentences running too long? Do you speak too fast or too slow? All of these details are keys to your progress. Writing them down will help you track patterns, and once you recognize a pattern, you can begin to break it or strengthen it. Recording yourself is also a way to measure progress over time. Save each file, label them with the date, then come back weeks or months later and compare. You'll be shocked at how much you've improved if you've been consistent. What once felt awkward starts to feel smooth. What once sounded confusing becomes clear. Progress hides in small improvements, and those improvements are hard to see without evidence. Your voice recordings become the evidence of your growth. This habit also trains your brain to prepare before speaking. When you know you'll be recording yourself, you naturally start thinking more clearly. You structure your thoughts. You focus your energy. You pause with purpose. Over time, that kind of preparation becomes automatic. You'll walk into real conversations with more control and confidence, not because you memorized sentences, but because you've trained your speaking mind. You might feel embarrassed at first. That's normal. Most people hate hearing their recorded voice. It sounds unfamiliar, strange, and even uncomfortable. But that discomfort is a gift. It shows that you're stepping into a higher level of self-awareness. You are no longer hiding behind silent learning. You are putting your voice out into the world, even if only for yourself. That bravery will separate you from thousands of learners who stay stuck because they never dared to face the sound of their own growth. This is not a one-time trick. It's a long-term practice. You don't record once and move on. You build a ritual. 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes every other day. Whatever your schedule allows, you fit it in, and you commit to it. Because each time you do it, you refine your speech. Each time you listen back, you sharpen your skills. You are training not only how you sound, but how you listen. That combination creates unstoppable growth. Speak slowly at first. Rushing will only build bad habits. Focus on clarity. Speak with energy. Speak with belief. If you're unsure how to say something, pause and try again. That's okay. These recordings are not for perfection. They're for progress. And every effort you make, every word you try to pronounce correctly, every sentence you attempt to build with precision, it all counts. It all adds up. Over time, you'll develop your own style of speaking. Your voice will carry more confidence. Your sentences will have better structure. Your rhythm will become more natural. And people will notice. They'll hear the change in how you express yourself. But more importantly, you will feel it. You'll feel the difference between how you used to speak and how you speak now. And that feeling will drive you to keep going. Don't get stuck over-analyzing. Don't criticize yourself to the point of quitting. Growth is messy. Your recordings will have mistakes. That's the point. You're not here to sound perfect. You're here to get better. And getting better means facing your flaws and working through them with discipline and self-respect. Your progress is a reflection of your willingness to act, not your ability to avoid mistakes. Set goals for each recording. One day you focus on improving your pronunciation. Another day you practice speaking longer sentences without stopping. Another day you challenge yourself to use 5 new words you learned that week. Structure builds momentum, and the more intentional you are with each session, the faster you grow. You are not just speaking randomly, you are training with purpose. You can also combine this habit with other techniques. After listening to a native speaker, try to record yourself saying the same sentences. Compare the two. Notice the differences. Work on closing the gap. This will make your learning more active and engaging. You stop being just a listener. You become a speaker, a learner, a coach, and a critic, all at once. That's how you gain mastery. Confidence is not built in silence. It's built in repetition. It's built by putting your voice in motion again and again, until it begins to match the image of fluency you carry in your mind. But that takes courage. You must be willing to hear what doesn't sound good yet. You must be willing to go through the phase where you feel uncertain. That's where real growth lives, in the middle of discomfort and discipline. The beauty of recording yourself is that it gives you control. You're not waiting for someone to correct you. You're not depending on others to notice your mistakes. You're doing it yourself. That independence builds power. That self-awareness builds confidence. And that habit builds momentum. You don't need expensive tools. Your phone is enough. The voice recorder app is enough. You don't need a studio. You don't need fancy software. You just need your voice and your willingness to improve. Don't let tools become excuses. The tool is not what makes the difference. Your action is. There's something powerful about being your own witness. You hear your progress. You watch your transformation. You become accountable to yourself. And that's where discipline takes root. Not because someone is watching, but because you care about becoming better for your own sake. That kind of mindset leads to deep, lasting improvement. As you grow more comfortable, start sharing your recordings with a friend, with a teacher, on a language forum. That small act of putting your voice in front of others can push you to new levels of confidence. Not for approval, but for practice. Not to show off, but to stay committed. The more you speak, the less fear controls you. And every time you record, remind yourself why you're doing this. You're not just learning a language. You're building a future. You're preparing for opportunities. You're opening doors. You're building your voice, your confidence, your presence in the world. And that matters. Your ability to express yourself clearly in English can change the path of your life. So speak with pride. Record with purpose. Review with honesty. And repeat with discipline. Chapter 4. Read aloud every day to improve clarity fast. Speaking clearly and confidently is not a gift that only a few people possess. It is a skill you can develop deliberately, and reading aloud every day is one of the most powerful tools to accelerate your progress. When you read aloud, you're not simply moving your eyes over words on a page. You're training your mouth, your tongue, your breath, and your brain to work together in harmony. This is the bridge between silent understanding and spoken fluency. The moment you start vocalizing your thoughts from a book, an article, or any text, you build clarity, strength, and precision in your English speaking faster than any other single practice. Many learners focus on vocabulary, grammar, or listening, but they forget the importance of connecting language to their own voice. Reading silently sharpens your mind, but reading aloud sharpens your entire communication system. It forces you to slow down, to pronounce every syllable with care, and to feel the rhythm of the language flowing through your mouth. This physical engagement is a secret weapon that transforms your clarity immediately. The sound of your own voice speaking English becomes familiar and natural, erasing hesitation and confusion. The power of reading aloud lies in its simplicity and consistency. It requires no special equipment beyond a book or a screen and your willingness to speak. Every day, even for just a few minutes, you can dedicate time to reading out loud. This daily commitment compounds into dramatic improvements. With every sentence you pronounce clearly, you train your muscles to move in new ways, your brain to process English faster, and your ears to catch sounds that previously escaped you. This muscle memory becomes the foundation for smooth, confident speech in real conversations. The clarity you develop from reading aloud also helps your listener. When your words are clear and deliberate, your message is received with ease. People do not need to strain to understand you. They respond positively, giving you encouragement and motivation. This positive feedback loop inspires you to speak more often and with greater assurance. The simple act of reading aloud every day rewires your speaking habits, making clarity your default mode instead of an occasional effort. Choosing the right material to read aloud is key. Start with texts that match your current level, but also challenge you just enough to grow. Children's books, short stories, or articles on topics that interest you can be excellent starting points. Avoid material that is either too easy or too complex. If the text is too simple, you won't push your skills. If it's too hard, you may feel frustrated and give up. Find a balance that stretches your abilities but remains enjoyable. When you enjoy what you read, your voice flows more naturally, and the learning becomes joyful rather than a chore. When you begin reading aloud, focus on pronouncing each word fully. Avoid rushing or mumbling. Take your time to feel the shape of each word with your lips and tongue. Pay attention to vowels and consonants, especially those that are difficult or different from your native language. This conscious articulation builds your ability to speak English clearly in all situations. Over time, your mouth will automatically adapt to the new sounds, and clear pronunciation will become effortless. Reading aloud also improves your intonation and rhythm. English is a language that rises and falls like music. When you read silently, you miss these musical patterns, but when you speak aloud, you practice the natural flow of sentences. You learn where to pause, where to emphasize words, and how to express questions or excitement. This rhythm is essential for sounding like a native speaker. The more you read aloud, the more these patterns become ingrained, making your speech sound confident and engaging. It's natural to make mistakes while reading aloud. You might stumble over tricky words, lose your place, or mispronounce a sound. These moments are valuable learning opportunities, not failures. When you notice a mistake, pause, correct yourself, and repeat the phrase. This immediate correction trains your brain to recognize and fix errors quickly, reinforcing accurate speech patterns. The habit of self-correction is a sign of discipline and resilience, qualities that will propel you far beyond language mastery. Reading aloud can also be combined with other effective learning techniques. Record yourself reading and listen to the playback. This creates a feedback loop that reveals how clear your speech really is. You might be surprised to discover words that need more work or notice improvements you hadn't realized. This habit turns passive reading into an active dialogue with yourself, where your voice becomes a tool for assessment and growth. Another way to enhance this practice is by reading along with a native speaker. Find audiobooks or podcasts with transcripts. Listen carefully to the speaker's pronunciation and try to imitate their tone and speed while reading the same text aloud. This method, known as shadowing, sharpens your ear for native sounds and trains your mouth to produce them accurately. The synchronization of hearing and speaking creates a powerful learning experience that accelerates fluency. Daily reading aloud also strengthens your confidence. Speaking a foreign language can feel intimidating, but when you regularly hear your voice producing clear English, your self-doubt begins to fade. The more you practice, the more comfortable you become with your accent, your pacing, and your expression. That confidence transfers to real conversations where you can speak with calm assurance, knowing you have built a solid foundation through practice. It is essential to approach reading aloud with intention. Mindlessly reading words without focus will not yield the same results. Before you start, take a moment to set a goal for your session. Maybe today you want to focus on crisp consonants, or perhaps you want to practice a particular sound, like the th or r. Being deliberate about what you want to improve helps you maintain concentration and track your progress more clearly. When reading, imagine your listener. Visualize speaking to a friend or an audience. This mental image engages your emotional energy and encourages expressive reading. Expressiveness is not about exaggeration, but about communicating meaningfully. It involves changing your tone to match the feelings behind the words, which deepens your connection to the language and makes your speech more compelling. Reading aloud also trains your breathing, a vital component of clear speech. Proper breath control supports your voice, allowing it to sound strong and steady. When you rush or speak without enough breath, your words become rushed and unclear. Practice taking deep breaths before sentences and pacing your speech to match your breathing rhythm. This conscious breathing adds power to your voice and prevents fatigue during longer conversations. Consistency is the key to unlocking the full benefits of reading aloud. Even 5 minutes a day, done regularly, will yield noticeable changes within weeks. This commitment builds momentum, and as the habit grows, your speaking skills improve naturally. Your brain, muscles, and ears adjust in harmony, making English feel more like your own language. This slow but steady growth develops the kind of fluency that lasts a lifetime. It is common to feel frustration during this process, especially when progress seems slow. Remember, mastery is not a race but a journey. Each clear sentence you read aloud is a step forward, even if it feels small. Your daily practice is a testament to your discipline and resilience. These qualities, combined with consistent effort, will carry you beyond every obstacle. Your voice is a powerful instrument, and reading aloud daily sharpens it like a musician tuning their strings. The clarity, strength, and confidence you develop are not just skills for speaking English, they are skills for life. The discipline of this practice builds focus, patience, and self-respect. These qualities will help you in every challenge, not only in language learning, but in every goal you pursue. When you look back after weeks and months of daily reading aloud, you will see how far you have come. Your words will flow more smoothly. Your pronunciation will sound clearer. Your voice will hold more authority and warmth. This progress is proof that deliberate action and focused intention are the true engines of success. You may find it helpful to keep a journal of your reading aloud journey. Note down difficult words, your feelings during practice, and milestones you reach. Reflecting on your experience reinforces your commitment and reveals patterns that help you adjust your practice for even better results. Surround yourself with encouraging reminders. Place your reading materials where you can see them every day. Set alarms or notes to remind yourself of your daily reading aloud time Treat this practice like a precious appointment with yourself, non-negotiable and vital for your growth. The path to speaking English clearly and confidently is built one word at a time, spoken aloud with intention. The sound of your voice reading the words connects your mind and body to the language, turning knowledge into skill. This connection is the key to rapid improvement. Make reading aloud your daily habit, and you will transform your speech faster than you imagined possible. Remember, progress demands persistence. Your voice will stumble, your tongue will trip, and your patience will be tested. Yet every moment you spend reading aloud is a victory over silence and doubt. This practice brings you closer to the fluency and clarity you desire. Keep speaking your words. Keep listening. Keep improving. Every day you read aloud, you affirm your commitment to mastering English and to becoming the person you want to be. A clear, confident communicator ready for every opportunity life presents. Your voice is the instrument of your influence. Treat it with care, practice it with dedication, and watch it grow into the powerful tool of your success. Chapter 5. Join conversations even when you feel nervous. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward despite feeling afraid. And if you want to speak English fluently, one of the most courageous things you can do is to step into real conversations, even when you feel nervous, uncertain, or unprepared. This is where real growth begins. This is where everything you've been practicing, reading, listening, repeating, finally comes alive. And yes, it's intimidating. Your heart beats faster. Your mind searches for the right words. You worry about how you'll sound. But every time you join a conversation, despite that fear, you are winning a powerful battle inside yourself. That single act builds more strength and progress than days of silent practice. You cannot become a confident English speaker by standing on the sidelines. You must engage. You must participate. You must throw yourself into the deep water, even when your voice shakes. Why? Because experience is the ultimate teacher. There is no substitute for the lessons learned in live, spontaneous conversations. They force your mind to adapt in real time. They sharpen your listening. They test your vocabulary. And most importantly, they train your courage. You won't feel ready. That's the truth. If you wait until all the nerves are gone before you speak up, you will wait forever. You must act before you feel ready. You must speak before you feel fluent. Confidence doesn't come before the conversation, it comes because of the conversation. And every time you speak up, you chip away at that anxiety. Slowly, it fades. Gradually, your words come easier. And eventually, what once terrified you becomes a new comfort zone. The most powerful shift happens when you stop avoiding discomfort and start embracing it as proof of growth. That nervous energy isn't a sign of weakness, it's a signal that you're stretching beyond your limits. Don't run from it. Walk into it, let it teach you, let it sharpen you. You can't develop fluency in theory. You develop fluency in action, through interaction, through mistakes, through awkward moments that eventually become your stepping stones to mastery. Start small if you must. You don't need to deliver a speech or lead a group discussion right away. Begin with one-on-one conversations. Ask someone how their day is. Comment on the weather. Order your food in English. Every small interaction is a micro-win. These moments build your foundation, and over time, those small exchanges compound into real confidence. Don't underestimate the power of short conversations. They may seem insignificant, but they are practice in its purest form. You might stutter, you might forget a word, you might freeze. That's okay. Everyone makes mistakes while learning. What matters is not the perfection of your sentence, it's the bravery behind your effort. The willingness to try, even when you know you might fall, is what sets you apart. Most people remain trapped by their fear. But you, if you're willing to speak despite the discomfort, you are walking a different path. A path that leads to freedom and fluency. When you join a conversation, focus less on sounding perfect and more on being present. Listen actively. Pay attention. Respond sincerely. People don't connect with grammar. They connect with honesty and effort. And the truth is, most people are kind. They admire your attempt. They respect your courage. Many will help you if you show genuine interest. Don't let the fear of judgment stop you. Let your desire to grow be stronger than your fear of making mistakes. Conversation is a two-way exchange. It's not just about what you say, it's also about how you listen. By joining conversations, you become better at picking up patterns, tones, and expressions that textbooks can't teach. You learn how native speakers shorten phrases, how they emphasize certain words, how they use emotion in their voice. You absorb these details subconsciously, and they shape your own speaking style in a natural, powerful way. The beauty of joining real conversations is that every moment is unique. No two interactions are the same. That variability is a gift. It pushes your brain to stay alert, to adapt quickly, to fill in gaps, to express yourself in new ways. It's like exercising a muscle that grows stronger with each repetition. And just like with any muscle, the more you use it, the less it hurts, and the more it responds with power and ease. Make it your mission to seek out conversations. Look for chances to interact in English, even in everyday situations. Talk to a classmate, a co-worker, a stranger at a coffee shop. Ask questions, give compliments, express curiosity. Put yourself in environments where English is spoken and engage without hesitation. If you can't find people locally, go online. Join language exchange platforms. Attend virtual events. Speak in forums. The opportunities are endless if you stay open. Don't wait for someone to invite you in. Take initiative. Be the one who starts the conversation. Even a simple greeting opens a door. You don't need to say something profound, you just need to be present and willing. Your growth doesn't depend on perfect timing. It depends on your choice to take action right now, with whatever tools you have. The courage to begin will always matter more than the conditions you begin in. Practice thinking in English before you speak. Prepare a few sentences you can use in daily situations. Rehearse introductions. Anticipate common responses. This preparation helps ease anxiety when the real moment comes. But don't get stuck in your head. The moment of truth is when you speak out loud. That's where the magic happens, when your thoughts leave your mind and enter the world as spoken words. Your progress may feel slow at first, but don't let impatience kill your momentum. True fluency is not a destination, it's a continuous journey, and conversations are the fuel that keep that journey alive. The more you engage, the more you improve. Over time, you'll notice something amazing. The fear that once stopped you begins to fade. Your voice becomes stronger. Your thoughts flow faster. Your words come out smoother. This is the reward for your persistence. Surround yourself with people who encourage your efforts. Avoid those who criticize or laugh at your mistakes. Seek environments that support growth. Every learner needs space to stumble, to try again, and to feel safe in that process. Build your own support system. People who understand the struggle, who value effort, and who celebrate progress. These allies will remind you that you are not alone in your journey. Keep track of your conversations. Write down what you talked about, what words you struggled with, and what you want to improve. This reflection helps you recognize patterns, build awareness, and set goals for future conversations. Don't treat your speaking moments as isolated events. Treat them as data. Learn from them, improve from them. Every conversation carries a lesson if you are willing to look for it. Give yourself credit after each interaction. Celebrate your courage. Every time you speak, you take control of your growth. You're proving to yourself that you are capable. You're building self-respect. You're becoming someone who acts despite fear. That strength doesn't only help you speak English, it helps you win in every area of life. Confidence in communication is power, and you're earning that power through consistent, deliberate effort. Don't compare your journey with others. Everyone learns at a different pace. Some may speak faster, but that doesn't mean they're learning better. What matters is your consistency, your courage, your commitment. Comparison distracts. Focus brings results. Use your energy to speak more, to learn more, to grow more. Let others inspire you, but let your own effort guide you. Your voice matters. Your thoughts matter. Don't hide them just because you feel unsure. Every word you speak, even with a shaky voice, adds to your strength. You are not here to impress anyone. You are here to improve. You are here to grow. And that growth requires you to show up, speak up, and stand up to your fears, again and again. Remember this truth: you can learn English forever, but you will never become fluent until you use it. Conversation is not optional. It is essential. It is the bridge between learning and living. And every step you take toward more conversations is a step toward becoming the speaker you want to be. This is not about talent. This is about action, and your actions today determine the speaker you become tomorrow. Speak even when your grammar isn't perfect. Speak even when your vocabulary is limited. Speak even when your hands shake and your mind races. Because what you build through that discomfort is not just language fluency, it's mental resilience. It's emotional strength. It's the unshakable belief that you can do hard things. And that belief will carry you further than any grammar rule ever could. The person you want to become is already within you. Every time you join a conversation despite fear, you bring that version of yourself closer to the surface. You peel away doubt. You silence the voice that says you can't. And you replace it with the proof that you can. You are becoming fluent. You are becoming confident. And it's happening one bold step at a time. So go. Join the conversation. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Right now. Start where you are, with what you have, and let the world hear your voice. Because your future self is waiting, and they are fluent, fearless and free. Chapter 6. Think in English to build real fluency fast. Fluency in English doesn't come from memorizing rules or translating in your head. It comes from training your mind to think directly in English, turning the language into your natural, automatic way of processing the world around you. If you want to speak quickly, confidently, and clearly, you must stop running everything through your native language first. This mental translation is the silent barrier that slows you down, freezes your words, and traps you in hesitation. Thinking in English is the key that unlocks real fluency, and it is available to you starting right now. The moment you decide to shift your inner voice to English, your brain begins rewiring itself. It starts creating new pathways that bypass your native language and allow English to flow freely. At first, this feels uncomfortable. Your mind resists. You stumble, you pause, and you feel lost in your own thoughts. But this discomfort is a sign that your brain is growing. It is adapting. The challenge you face is actually proof of your progress. When you think in English, your speaking becomes faster and more natural. Instead of hunting for words, you already have them ready. Your sentences form smoothly, as if English were your first language. This mental fluency is what sets apart great speakers from those who always sound like they're translating. It's the difference between hesitation and flow, between struggle and ease. To start thinking in English, you need to immerse yourself mentally. Begin by narrating your daily activities in your mind. When you wake up, tell yourself in English what you are doing. I am brushing my teeth. I am making coffee. I am going to work. This habit turns your routine into a live practice session. You don't need anyone else present. Your mind becomes your classroom, and every moment is an opportunity. Next, challenge yourself to describe your surroundings out loud or in your head. Look around and say what you see, how things look, and what you feel about them. The more you do this, the more you build a rich English vocabulary that connects directly to your experiences. This connection makes your language alive, relevant, and memorable. Stop relying on mental translation from your native tongue. Instead, associate ideas and emotions directly with English words and phrases. This takes effort, but it changes everything. When you want to say, "I'm tired," don't think about how to say it in your language and then translate. Feel the tiredness and immediately say, "I'm tired." This shift rewires your brain to understand English as a primary language, not a second thought. Practice this throughout your day. In moments of waiting, in quiet times, or while walking, let your mind speak English. Think about what you want to eat, what your plans are, or how your day went, all in English. This constant mental dialogue builds fluency faster than any textbook exercise because it forces your brain to operate fully in English. Another powerful technique is to mentally rehearse conversations. Imagine a situation you might face, a job interview, a casual chat with a friend, or ordering food, and play out the dialogue inside your head. Think of your responses, questions you could ask, and even how to politely end the conversation. This mental simulation prepares your brain for real-life interactions and reduces anxiety when the moment comes. Listening to English also boosts your ability to think in the language. When you hear native speakers, your brain absorbs the rhythm, intonation, and vocabulary patterns. Combine this input with active thinking, and you create a feedback loop that accelerates learning. You hear, you process, you respond mentally, over and over again. Don't be afraid to make mistakes in your inner English. The perfectionist voice in your mind is your enemy here. Allow yourself to think in incomplete sentences, to stumble, and to guess. The goal is communication, not perfection. Your mental practice will naturally become smoother and more accurate as you keep going. Be patient with yourself. Thinking in English is a skill that builds gradually. Some days your mind will slip back into your native language, and that's okay. When you notice it, gently redirect your thoughts back to English without judgment. Consistency is what counts, not perfection. Surround yourself with English as much as possible. Read, listen, watch, and speak in English to strengthen your mental environment. The more English your brain encounters daily, the easier it becomes to think in it. Language is a habit formed by repetition and exposure, and your job is to create that exposure relentlessly. One trick is to label objects around you with their English names. Post sticky notes on your furniture, appliances, and personal items. Every time you see the label, say the word in English. This constant visual and verbal reminder ties vocabulary to real objects, making mental recall automatic. Ask yourself questions in English throughout the day. Instead of letting your mind wander in your native language, Pose questions like, what should I do next? Or how do I feel about this? And answer them in English. This self-dialogue is training your brain to operate fully in English. Use simple, clear sentences to avoid mental overload. You don't need complex grammar or big words to think in English. Start with what you know and gradually build on that. Clear thoughts create clear speech. The clearer your inner language, the clearer your outer language becomes. To reinforce this, write short daily journal entries in English about your thoughts and experiences. Writing strengthens your internal language muscles and supports your thinking process. It also helps you identify gaps in your vocabulary or grammar that you can focus on improving. When you sleep, try to review the day's events in English. Mentally replay conversations or moments and narrate them in English. This not only reinforces your learning, but also allows your subconscious mind to process the language deeply, speeding up fluency. Another step forward is to dream in English. While this might seem impossible at first, the more you train your mind to think in English during waking hours, the easier it becomes for your brain to carry that habit into dreams. Dreaming in English is a sign your mind is fully immersed and adapting. Connect emotions directly to English words. Instead of feeling frustrated and thinking that frustration in your native language, label the feeling in English. Say, I am frustrated, or I feel anxious. Emotional connection creates stronger neural links, making vocabulary stick faster and deeper. Remember that your brain is wired to learn patterns. When you think in English regularly, you begin to recognize common sentence structures and idioms naturally. This pattern recognition helps you predict language use and respond more quickly and accurately during conversations. Use media that interests you, songs, movies, podcasts, books, to fuel your English thinking. When you enjoy the material, your brain is more motivated and retains information better. Engage with content actively by summarizing what you hear or see in your own English thoughts. Practice mindfulness in English. Focus your attention fully on your surroundings and experiences and describe them mentally in English. Mindfulness sharpens your observation and enhances your ability to think clearly, which in turn supports better language use. If you get stuck on a word or phrase, try to explain it in English with simpler terms rather than switching back to your native language. This practice builds your ability to express ideas flexibly, a hallmark of fluent speakers. Set realistic daily goals for your English thinking practice. For example, decide to narrate your morning routine in English every day, or to hold a 5-minute self-conversation about your plans. Small, consistent actions add up over time. Find a thinking buddy, someone who is also learning English or a native speaker willing to help. Share your experiences and challenges about thinking in English. Discussing this journey helps keep you motivated and provides practical tips. Challenge yourself with puzzles or games in English, like crosswords or word searches. These activities stimulate your brain and reinforce vocabulary in a fun and engaging way, making English thinking less of a chore and more of a pleasure. Visualize your future as a fluent English speaker. Imagine how you will think smoothly in English, how your conversations will flow, and how your confidence will grow. This mental image will inspire you to keep practicing even when it feels difficult. Be aware that thinking in English also means thinking in a new cultural context. Language carries culture, so as you think in English, you also start adopting new ways of expressing ideas and emotions. This cultural shift enriches your communication and connects you more deeply with native speakers. Use positive self-talk in English to boost your motivation. Instead of saying, "I'm bad at English," tell yourself, "I am improving every day," or "I learn from every mistake." Your inner dialogue shapes your mindset and influences your language progress. Record your inner thoughts occasionally and listen back. Hearing your mental English aloud helps you identify pronunciation issues, awkward phrasing, or grammar mistakes. It also provides feedback to improve your thinking process. Mix your English thinking with creative exercises. Imagine stories, invent dialogues, or describe scenes in English. Creativity unlocks new language pathways and makes learning dynamic and exciting. Avoid overthinking and perfectionism. Thinking in English is a skill like riding a bike. It gets easier the more you do it. Don't let fear of errors block your mental flow. Accept imperfection as part of the process. Remember, your goal is to communicate ideas, feelings, and facts, not to construct perfect sentences every time. Fluency is about connection, not correctness. Your thoughts don't have to be flawless, they have to be free. Finally, keep returning to this practice daily. The difference between success and struggle is consistency. Thinking in English for just a few minutes every day accumulates rapidly. Over weeks and months, your mental habit strengthens until English thinking becomes your natural state. By training your mind to think in English, you break free from the chains of translation. You accelerate your fluency. You unlock a powerful tool that brings your language skills to life. This is how you move from learning English to living English. And that shift changes everything. Chapter 7. Learn 5 useful phrases and use them daily. Mastery of any language begins not with thousands of words, but with a handful of powerful phrases you use every day until they become second nature. Learning 5 practical phrases and weaving them into your daily conversations accelerates your fluency like nothing else. This focused approach cuts through overwhelm, builds confidence, and creates a foundation for natural, effortless communication. When you concentrate on just 5 phrases, you avoid the paralysis of too much information. Instead of chasing endless vocabulary, you channel your energy into mastering expressions that carry you through countless situations. These phrases become your tools, your anchors, and your keys to unlocking conversations with ease. The beauty of learning just 5 phrases is that they are versatile. Each one can be adapted to many contexts, making your language flexible and relevant. As you repeat and reuse them, you begin to feel ownership of the language. The words stop feeling foreign. They become part of your daily rhythm. Choose phrases that serve you well across different settings, whether at work, with friends, or in casual encounters. These phrases should be practical and empowering, giving you the ability to express agreement, ask for clarification, offer help, and show appreciation. This small arsenal sets you up for success every day. Practice is everything. Saying the phrases aloud, writing them down, and using them in real conversations creates neural pathways that embed the language deeply. Each time you use a phrase, your brain strengthens the connection between sound, meaning, and context. This repetition is how fluency is born. Make these phrases your daily companions. Integrate them into your thoughts, your responses, and your self-talk. When you wake up, tell yourself in English using one of your phrases. When you meet someone, greet them with another. This consistency turns practice into habit. Over time, your confidence grows as you witness the power of these phrases in action. You'll notice doors opening, people responding positively, conversations flowing more smoothly, and your anxiety fading. Mastery of a few phrases creates momentum that propels you forward. Don't limit yourself to rote memorization. Explore the meaning behind each phrase. Understand when and why it's used. This insight allows you to adapt the phrases naturally rather than repeating them like a robot. Flexibility is the heart of true communication. Using phrases regularly also builds your listening skills. You start recognizing these expressions when others use them, making conversations easier to follow. This familiarity boosts comprehension and reduces the mental load during dialogue. Expand your phrase toolkit gradually. Once you feel comfortable with your first 5, add new ones. Each phrase you master builds on the last, creating a growing network of language resources. This step-by-step growth prevents overwhelm and keeps your learning focused. Challenge yourself to create variations of your phrases. Change the tone, add polite words, or shorten them for casual chats. This experimentation makes your English adaptable and alive, not fixed or stale. Record yourself saying these phrases to monitor your pronunciation and intonation. Listening back allows you to catch mistakes and improve clarity. Clear speech makes a big difference in how others perceive your confidence and fluency. Find opportunities to use your phrases in different environments. Whether ordering food, joining meetings, or chatting with neighbors, every interaction is a chance to practice. Real-world use cements your learning far more than studying alone. Create reminders for yourself, notes, alarms, or digital prompts that encourage you to use your phrases throughout the day. These small nudges keep your focus sharp and your practice consistent. Join language groups or online forums where you can share your progress and hear others' experiences. Engaging with a community supports motivation and exposes you to new expressions and accents. Pay attention to body language and facial expressions as you use your phrases. Communication is more than words. How you say things matters. Pairing your phrases with confident, open gestures enhances your message and builds rapport. Celebrate small victories. Each time you successfully use a phrase in conversation, acknowledge your progress. Positive reinforcement strengthens your commitment and makes learning enjoyable. Balance your phrase practice with other language skills like reading, listening, and writing. A holistic approach deepens your understanding and makes your English well-rounded. Be patient with yourself. Language acquisition is a journey with ups and downs. Some days your phrases will flow effortlessly, other days you might struggle. Consistency over time wins the race. Visualize using your phrases smoothly in everyday life. Picture yourself navigating conversations with ease, expressing yourself clearly, and connecting authentically. This mental rehearsal primes your brain for success. Embrace mistakes as opportunities to learn. If a phrase doesn't work as expected, ask for feedback or observe how native speakers use it. Adjusting your usage helps you grow and prevents fossilized errors. Use technology to your advantage. Apps, voice recorders, and online tutors can provide extra practice and feedback on your phrase usage and pronunciation. Focus on clarity and simplicity when using your phrases. Clear communication trumps complicated sentences every time. The goal is to be understood and understood quickly. Keep your phrases positive and polite. Language shapes perception, so using courteous expressions opens doors and builds goodwill. Incorporate your 5 phrases into storytelling. Sharing simple stories using these expressions helps you practice context and sequence, boosting both speaking and thinking skills. Rotate your phrases daily. Don't stick to just 1 or 2. Using all 5 regularly keeps your practice fresh and challenges your memory. Reflect on your progress regularly. Ask yourself which phrases feel natural and which need more work. This awareness guides your learning focus and keeps you improving. Experiment with rhythm and stress in your phrases. English has a musical quality. Mastering it makes your speech more engaging and easier to understand. Link your phrases to emotions. Express excitement, gratitude, curiosity, or politeness through your tone. Emotion enriches communication and makes your language memorable. Pair your phrases with gestures and facial expressions. This multimodal approach reinforces meaning and aids recall. Teach your phrases to others. Explaining how and when to use them deepens your own understanding and builds confidence. Set specific measurable goals for phrase usage. For example, aim to use each phrase at least 3 times a day in conversations or self-talk. Create flashcards with your phrases and review them regularly. Visual repetition supports memorization and quick recall. Use your phrases to ask questions. Engaging others encourages conversation and gives you more practice speaking. Replace filler words with your useful phrases. Instead of or like, use your expressions to sound more polished and confident. Imagine yourself as a fluent speaker using these phrases effortlessly. This mindset helps you overcome fear and hesitation. Challenge negative self-talk that tells you can't speak well. Replace it with affirmations that reinforce your phrase mastery and progress. Keep your language goals visible. Post your 5 phrases where you see them often to remind and motivate yourself. Use your phrases in writing emails, messages, or social media posts. Written practice supports verbal fluency and broadens your skills. Practice varying your sentence length when using your phrases. Mixing short and long sentences makes your speech natural and dynamic. Observe native speakers' use of similar phrases in movies, TV shows, or podcasts. Mimicking natural usage improves your fluency and understanding. Make phrase practice fun. Turn it into a game or challenge to keep motivation high. Record dialogues using your 5 phrases and listen to them. Self-feedback accelerates improvement. Seek feedback from native speakers on your phrase use and pronunciation. Constructive input refines your skills. Adapt your phrases for different levels of formality. This versatility makes your English appropriate in any situation. Use your phrases to express agreement, disagreement, gratitude, or curiosity. Functional language enhances interaction and connection. Don't rush mastery. Give yourself time to internalize each phrase deeply before moving on. Integrate your phrases into your thoughts as part of your English thinking habit. This integration bridges internal language with external use. Recognize that learning phrases is a stepping stone to spontaneous speaking. They give you confidence to build more complex sentences. Surround yourself with English speakers who encourage your practice. Positive social environments boost learning speed. Prioritize quality over quantity. 5 well-used phrases teach you more than a long list of forgotten words. Practice your phrases in front of a mirror. Watching yourself boosts awareness of facial expressions and pronunciation. Use your phrases to navigate daily life confidently, from shopping to socializing. Real-world use is the best test of fluency. Acknowledge progress regularly. Each phrase mastered is a step closer to your English goals. Finally, remember that the path to fluency is built one phrase at a time. Commit to learning, using and living these 5 phrases daily. And watch your English transform beyond what you thought possible. Chapter 8. Ask for feedback and improve without taking offense. If you want to grow faster and become the best version of yourself, learning to ask for feedback and embrace it without taking offense is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Feedback is not a judgment on your worth. It is a tool for your growth. Understanding this truth opens doors to continuous improvement that many people miss because they fear criticism or feel defensive. Most people shy away from feedback because it triggers emotions like fear, embarrassment, or frustration. These feelings create a natural resistance that blocks the very information needed to get better. The key is to separate your identity from your performance. When feedback targets your actions or results, rather than who you are as a person, it becomes easier to listen objectively. To start, change how you view feedback. Instead of seeing it as criticism, reframe it as a gift, a chance to see blind spots, sharpen skills, and accelerate progress. This mindset shift turns potentially painful experiences into opportunities you seek out actively. Asking for feedback becomes a strategic move in your personal and professional growth. Before requesting feedback, prepare yourself mentally. Remind yourself that no one is perfect and everyone benefits from input. Adopt curiosity instead of judgment. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this help me improve? This internal dialogue sets the stage for receiving feedback constructively. When you ask for feedback, be specific about what you want to know. General questions like, "How am I doing?" often lead to vague answers. Instead, focus on particular areas such as communication, leadership, or a project. Clear requests make it easier for others to provide useful and actionable advice. Listen attentively when feedback is given. Avoid interrupting, defending yourself, or explaining away mistakes. These reactions close down the conversation and prevent you from understanding the full message. Instead, maintain open body language, make eye contact, and nod to show you are engaged. It's normal to feel a sting when hearing something negative, but resist the urge to react emotionally. Take deep breaths and remind yourself that the goal is growth, not validation. Processing the feedback calmly allows you to hear details you might otherwise miss. Ask clarifying questions if feedback is unclear or too general. Saying things like, "Can you give me an example?" or "What would you suggest I do differently?" helps turn vague comments into practical steps. This shows you value the feedback and are committed to improvement. After receiving feedback, take time to reflect privately. Write down what was said, your initial reactions, and any ideas for change. Reflection helps you separate emotion from fact and plan your next actions thoughtfully. Create an action plan based on the feedback. Identify specific behaviors to adjust, skills to develop, or habits to change. Setting measurable goals and deadlines keeps you accountable and focused on real progress. Follow up with the person who gave you feedback. Let them know how you applied their advice and thank them for their help. This closes the loop and builds stronger relationships based on trust and mutual growth. Recognize that asking for feedback regularly builds resilience. Over time, your emotional response becomes less intense and your ability to process critique improves. This resilience makes you more adaptable and open-minded. Feedback is not always easy to hear, especially when it points out deep flaws or repeated mistakes. However, the most successful people learn to welcome this discomfort as a sign that they are stretching beyond their comfort zones and growing. Be mindful of your inner dialogue after receiving feedback. Replace self-criticism with constructive thoughts. For example, instead of "I'm terrible at this," think, "This is an area I can improve with effort." Positive self-talk reinforces motivation and reduces defensiveness. Seek feedback from diverse sources to get a balanced perspective. Different people offer different insights based on their experiences and viewpoints. This broad input gives you a richer understanding of your strengths and weaknesses. Understand that feedback can be both positive and negative. Don't overlook praise. It highlights what you should continue doing well. Balanced feedback helps you build on strengths while addressing challenges. Avoid taking feedback personally by remembering that everyone has areas to improve. No one is immune to mistakes or blind spots. Accepting this universal truth reduces shame and encourages humility. Practice giving feedback to others with kindness and clarity. This experience sharpens your understanding of how to receive feedback yourself and fosters a culture of openness around you. When feedback feels harsh or unfair, pause before reacting. Consider the source, intention, and facts. Sometimes emotions or misunderstandings color feedback, but often there is a valuable kernel to learn from. If you disagree with feedback, express your viewpoint respectfully and seek dialogue. A healthy exchange of perspectives can lead to deeper insights and better solutions. Defensiveness kills communication, but openness invites collaboration. Incorporate feedback into your daily routine. After meetings, presentations, or tasks, ask for brief input to make continuous adjustments. This habit prevents small issues from becoming bigger problems and keeps your growth steady. Use journaling to track feedback themes over time. Noticing patterns reveals persistent habits or blind spots that need attention. This awareness guides your development priorities. Celebrate your progress openly. When you improve based on feedback, acknowledge it. Recognizing growth reinforces your efforts and builds confidence. Be patient with yourself. Changing behaviors or skills takes time and persistence. Feedback is just one part of a long-term journey to mastery. Develop emotional intelligence to handle feedback better. Being aware of your feelings and managing them helps you stay calm and receptive. Emotional skills strengthen your ability to benefit from critique. Surround yourself with people who support your growth. Encouraging friends, mentors, or coaches provide honest and compassionate feedback that fuels your improvement. Avoid waiting for perfect moments to ask for feedback. Regularly invite input as part of your growth mindset. Proactive feedback seeking shows maturity and a commitment to excellence. Practice mindfulness to stay present during feedback. Focusing on the moment reduces anxiety and improves your ability to absorb information fully. Turn feedback into questions. Instead of feeling judged, ask, "What can I do differently?" or "How can I handle this better next time?" This shifts your role from passive receiver to active learner. Recognize that feedback helps you see yourself through others' eyes. This perspective is invaluable because we often miss our own blind spots. When feedback challenges your beliefs or habits, view it as a chance to evolve. Growth requires change, and change can be uncomfortable but necessary. Track how feedback has helped you in the past. Recalling success stories reinforces the value of critique and motivates continued openness. Build a habit of thanking people who give feedback. Gratitude strengthens relationships and encourages future input. Learn to distinguish between constructive feedback and destructive criticism. Focus on actionable advice and discard unhelpful negativity. Use feedback as a compass to guide your personal and professional development. It points you toward areas that matter most for your growth. Accept that mistakes are inevitable. Feedback helps you correct course faster and smarter than trial and error alone. When you feel defensive, pause and breathe deeply. This simple act reduces stress and helps you respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Seek feedback in writing when face-to-face conversations feel intimidating. Written input gives you time to process and respond calmly. In group settings, invite feedback to foster transparency and collective improvement. This practice builds trust and accountability among teams. Reflect on your progress by comparing where you were before and after receiving feedback. Seeing tangible change boosts motivation. Use role-play or simulation exercises to practice receiving and applying feedback in safe environments. This prepares you for real-life situations. Understand that feedback is a dialogue, not a one-way street. Engage in conversations that clarify expectations and goals. Be open to changing your mind when feedback reveals new information. Flexibility is a sign of strength, not weakness. Use feedback to sharpen your self-awareness. Knowing your impact on others enhances your relationships and effectiveness. Remember that feedback is a process, not a single event. Continuous learning keeps you evolving throughout life. Stay humble and curious. These attitudes invite feedback naturally and make you approachable. Take responsibility for your growth. Feedback is a tool, but you must choose to act on it consistently. Turn feedback into a habit of excellence. Make improvement an ongoing priority rather than a reaction to failure. Value honesty over comfort. Genuine feedback, even when tough, respects you by helping you grow. Use visualization techniques to imagine handling feedback calmly and using it effectively. Mental rehearsal builds confidence. Recognize that growth often happens outside your comfort zone. Feedback nudges you into these zones. Balance self-acceptance with striving for improvement. Feedback guides this balance by showing what to keep and what to change. Practice empathy when receiving feedback. Understanding the giver's perspective softens defensiveness and builds connection. Ask for feedback early and often. Early input prevents small mistakes from becoming habits. Keep a feedback journal to track insights, emotions and actions related to critiques. This organized reflection boosts learning. Turn challenges identified in feedback into personal growth projects. Focusing on solutions empowers you. Acknowledge the courage it takes for others to give you honest feedback. Respect their effort by listening attentively. Use feedback to refine your goals and priorities. Adjusting your path based on input keeps you aligned with your best self. Avoid making excuses or blaming others when receiving feedback. Own your role in the situation and seek ways to improve. Practice gratitude for feedback, even when it's hard to hear. This attitude transforms critique into a positive force. Incorporate regular feedback sessions into your routines, weekly check-ins or monthly reviews. Consistency builds momentum. Train your mind to view feedback as data, not drama. This objective stance reduces emotional reactions. When feedback touches on personal values or identity, pause to reflect deeply. These moments offer profound growth opportunities. Keep learning and adapting. Feedback is one of the most reliable paths to lasting success and fulfillment. Your willingness to seek, receive, and act on feedback without offense determines how fast you will improve. This skill unlocks doors to possibilities beyond what you imagine. Embrace feedback fully, and you will accelerate your journey toward excellence with courage and clarity. Chapter 9. Practice speaking under pressure to grow confidence. True confidence is forged in the fire of pressure, and the fastest way to build it is by practicing speaking exactly when the stakes feel highest. Every moment you step up to speak under pressure, you carve a deeper well of courage and command that no fear can easily erase. If you want to become someone who commands respect and influences others with ease, you must train yourself to speak clearly, calmly, and powerfully in high-pressure situations. Most people avoid speaking when they feel nervous or watched closely because their minds freeze, their voices falter, and self-doubt creeps in. The truth is, the mind reacts to pressure by trying to protect you, causing that familiar rush of adrenaline, a pounding heart, or shaky hands. These natural reactions are not signs of failure, but invitations to grow stronger. The more you expose yourself to pressure while speaking, the more you learn to tame these reactions and speak with poise, regardless of the circumstances. Start by understanding that speaking under pressure is a skill, not a talent you either have or don't have. Like any skill, it improves with deliberate practice and patience. Approach each speaking opportunity, especially those that challenge you, as a training session for your future success. The discomfort you feel is temporary, but the confidence you build lasts a lifetime. One of the first steps is to prepare thoroughly. Knowing your material inside and out dramatically reduces uncertainty. When your knowledge is solid, your mind has less to worry about, and you can focus more on delivering your message clearly. Preparation includes practicing your speech or points multiple times until they become second nature, allowing you to pivot smoothly if something unexpected happens. Practice speaking aloud in front of a mirror or record yourself. This self-observation helps you become aware of your body language, tone, and pacing. Adjusting these elements allows you to present yourself more confidently. Listening to your recorded voice may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is invaluable for growth. Next, seek out low-stakes opportunities to speak where some pressure exists, such as small group discussions, team meetings, or social events. Gradually increase the difficulty level by volunteering for larger audiences or more formal settings. This graduated exposure builds resilience and helps you develop strategies to handle nerves. Breathing techniques are crucial tools for managing physical symptoms of pressure. Deep, slow breaths activate your parasympathetic nervous system, calming your heart rate and reducing anxiety. Practice breathing exercises regularly so you can use them instinctively when you feel tension rising before or during speaking. Visualization is another powerful method. Spend time imagining yourself speaking confidently under pressure, seeing your audience respond positively, and hearing your voice steady and strong. Mental rehearsal builds neural pathways that prepare your brain for success, making actual performance smoother. When you face the moment to speak under pressure, focus on your message rather than yourself. Shifting your attention away from worries about how you appear or what others think frees your mind to communicate more effectively. Remind yourself why your message matters and who benefits from hearing it. Use positive self-talk to counteract fear and doubt. Replace thoughts like "I'll mess up" or "they will judge me" with affirmations such as "I am prepared and capable" or "my words have value." This internal dialogue shapes your mindset and influences your performance. Allow yourself to pause when needed. Silence can feel uncomfortable, but strategic pauses give you time to gather thoughts, emphasize points, and control pacing. They show confidence rather than hesitation when used intentionally. Develop active listening skills during conversations or presentations. Engaging fully with others not only enriches your responses, but also shifts your focus from yourself to the exchange, reducing pressure and enhancing connection. Learn to embrace mistakes as part of growth. Everyone stumbles or loses their train of thought occasionally. When this happens, acknowledge it lightly, correct yourself, and move forward without apology. Audiences appreciate authenticity and resilience more than perfection. Building a strong posture supports confident speaking. Stand or sit with your back straight, shoulders relaxed but not slumped. This posture not only projects assurance, but also influences your brain to feel more empowered. Eye contact is a vital connection tool. Look at individuals in your audience or conversation to create rapport and show engagement. Avoid darting eyes or staring blankly, as these behaviors signal discomfort or disinterest. Engage your voice fully by practicing projection, variation in tone, and clear articulation. A dynamic voice holds attention and conveys enthusiasm. Exercises like reading aloud or vocal warm-ups can strengthen these skills. Seek feedback after speaking opportunities. Honest input from trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues helps you identify areas to improve and reinforce what you do well. Use feedback as a roadmap for continuous development. Incorporate storytelling to make your message memorable. Stories captivate listeners, create emotional connections, and give you natural cues to structure your speaking. Practice telling brief, relevant stories to build this skill. Challenge yourself regularly with unfamiliar topics or audiences. Stepping outside your comfort zone accelerates growth by forcing you to adapt and think on your feet. Develop a pre-speaking ritual that centers and energizes you. This might include stretching, deep breathing, positive affirmations, or listening to motivational music. Consistent rituals condition your mind and body for optimal performance. Learn to manage the physical environment when possible. Arrive early to get comfortable with the space, test equipment, and visualize your delivery. Familiarity reduces anxiety and increases control. Remember that nerves do not disappear completely, but become manageable with experience. Even seasoned speakers feel pressure, but have learned to channel it into focus and energy. Reflect on each speaking experience afterward. Analyze what worked, what didn't, and how you felt. This reflection turns every opportunity into a lesson and builds self-awareness. Cultivate patience with yourself. Confidence grows gradually, and setbacks are part of the journey. Celebrate small victories and milestones to maintain motivation. Practice improvisation exercises to boost spontaneity and reduce fear of the unknown. Activities like storytelling games, debating, or answering random questions improve quick thinking. Stay hydrated and eat well before speaking. Physical well-being supports mental clarity and energy, enhancing your ability to perform under pressure. Develop empathy for your audience. Understanding their needs and perspectives guides your message and builds rapport, making your speaking more effective. Build a supportive network of people who encourage your growth and provide safe places to practice. Sharing experiences and advice strengthens your resolve. Use humor carefully to ease tension and connect with listeners. Light, appropriate humor can break the ice and show confidence. Avoid over-rehearsing to the point of rigidity. Flexibility allows you to adapt to the moment and respond authentically. Prepare responses to possible questions or challenges in advance. Anticipation reduces surprises and boosts confidence. Stay focused on progress rather than perfection. Each speaking experience is a step forward, not a final exam. Learn to read audience cues like body language and facial expressions. Adjust your delivery in response to maintain engagement. Practice speaking with different emotions and emphasis to develop expressiveness and prevent monotony. Understand that your value as a speaker is not dependent on flawless delivery, but on your willingness to communicate and connect. Use constructive self-criticism to guide improvements without harsh judgment. Set realistic goals for each speaking opportunity, such as making clear points or engaging listeners, rather than trying to impress. Accept that fear is a natural part of growth and can be a signal that you are pushing your limits. Train your brain with mindfulness meditation to increase present moment awareness and reduce anxious thoughts. Seek opportunities to speak in diverse settings, such as volunteer work, community events, or online platforms, to broaden experience. Practice summarizing your message succinctly. Clear and concise communication is a sign of mastery. Learn to handle unexpected interruptions calmly by pausing and acknowledging before continuing. Use gestures purposefully to emphasize points and maintain energy. Build confidence by recalling past successes and using them as motivation. Accept constructive criticism gracefully and use it as fuel for growth. Maintain consistent practice habits. Confidence is built over time, not overnight. Understand the importance of pacing your speech to match the content and audience. Learn to manage your energy levels to avoid burnout during speaking engagements. Use positive visualization before and during speaking to maintain focus. Practice deep vocal exercises to strengthen your speaking voice. Stay curious and open to learning from every speaking experience. Develop resilience by viewing setbacks as opportunities for improvement. Engage in peer coaching or joining speaking clubs like Toastmasters for structured practice. Focus on connecting with your message authentically rather than trying to be perfect. Use recordings of your speaking to track progress and identify areas for development. Maintain a growth mindset, believing that effort and practice lead to mastery. Learn to adjust your message to fit different audiences and contexts. Practice patience and self-compassion as you navigate the challenges of speaking under pressure. Keep pushing yourself outside your comfort zone regularly to expand your confidence. Build your personal style of speaking that feels natural and powerful to you. Celebrate your courage to speak, no matter the outcome. Remember, every time you speak under pressure, you are not just sharing words, you are building an unshakable foundation of confidence that will support every goal and dream you pursue. Embrace the challenge, practice relentlessly, and watch your confidence soar beyond what you ever thought possible. Chapter 10. Track your speaking progress and stay consistent daily. Consistency is the secret weapon that transforms small efforts into extraordinary breakthroughs, and tracking your speaking progress daily fuels that consistency with clarity and purpose. Without knowing where you stand, you wander aimlessly, but when you commit to measuring your growth in speaking every day, you activate a powerful feedback loop that accelerates improvement faster than any random practice ever could. Tracking is not about judgment or pressure. It's about lighting a path that guides your voice steadily toward mastery. Many people think progress in speaking happens naturally over time, but progress without measurement is guesswork. You might feel like you're improving, but without clear records, you don't really know how far you've come or what exactly needs work. Tracking turns vague feelings into concrete evidence. It reveals patterns you can capitalize on and exposes weaknesses you can fix. This honest self-awareness is the foundation of deliberate practice and lasting confidence. Start by creating a simple system that fits your lifestyle. It doesn't have to be complicated. A journal, a digital app, a spreadsheet, or even voice notes can serve as your tracking tool. What matters most is that you use it consistently to capture your speaking sessions, whether it's a conversation, a presentation, or practice alone. Document what you spoke about, how you felt, what went well, and what challenged you. Include details on specific skills too. Did your voice stay steady? Was your pace natural? How clear were your words? How effectively did you connect with your audience? Over time, these observations create a rich map of your progress, allowing you to identify trends and focus on the areas that need attention most. Consistency matters even more than intensity. Speaking daily, even for a few minutes, builds muscle memory and mental wiring. Like any skill, speaking improves by repeated, focused effort. Sporadic bursts of practice can help temporarily, but they rarely lead to lasting transformation. By tracking your daily efforts, you hold yourself accountable and build a habit that fuels momentum. Establish a daily routine, where speaking practice becomes a non-negotiable part of your schedule. Treat it like brushing your teeth or eating meals, essential actions for your growth and well-being. This mindset removes the question of if you will practice and replaces it with when and how. When you know you will check your progress every day, you'll be motivated to put in the work regularly. Review your notes weekly to assess your trajectory. Celebrate improvements, no matter how small, because every victory strengthens your belief in your ability to grow. Look for patterns that show progress and challenges that persist. Adjust your practice focus accordingly. This dynamic approach prevents stagnation and keeps you moving forward with purpose. Use recorded speaking sessions to enhance your tracking. Listening to yourself can be eye-opening. You may notice strengths and flaws you missed in the moment. Recordings provide an objective perspective that sharpens your self-awareness and guides specific improvements. Don't hesitate to set measurable goals that challenge you progressively. For example, increase the length of your speaking sessions gradually, or aim to speak in different contexts, online, in meetings or social gatherings. Use your tracking system to log these goals and monitor your progress toward them. Breaking down big goals into manageable milestones makes growth less overwhelming and more achievable. Incorporate self-reflection into your tracking. After each speaking session, ask yourself questions like, what did I do well? What made me nervous? How can I improve next time? These reflections deepen your learning and reinforce a growth mindset that thrives on feedback and resilience. Avoid perfectionism as you track progress. Growth is messy and non-linear. Some days will feel better than others, and that's normal. The purpose of tracking is to illuminate your journey, not to punish yourself for imperfections. Embrace setbacks as opportunities to learn, adjust, and recommit. Pair tracking with external feedback whenever possible. Trusted mentors, friends, or coaches can offer perspectives that you might overlook. Combine their input with your own records to create a comprehensive understanding of your speaking abilities. Stay patient with the process. Building confidence and skill in speaking takes time and steady effort. Tracking helps you see the big picture, reminding you that every small step accumulates into lasting transformation. Resist the urge to skip practice when progress feels slow. Consistency is the engine that drives eventual mastery. Use your tracking data to experiment with new techniques. For example, try varying your tone, speed, or gestures in one session and note the effects. Testing and observing responses expands your versatility and creativity as a speaker. Recognize the power of momentum. Each day you track and practice, you reinforce your commitment and build a sense of achievement. Momentum propels you through moments of doubt and discouragement, making daily practice easier and more rewarding over time. Integrate your speaking practice with other personal growth habits. Confidence in speaking is linked to overall self-esteem, clarity of thought, and emotional regulation. Tracking progress in all these areas creates synergy that multiplies your development. Keep your tracking methods simple and sustainable. Overcomplicating the process can lead to burnout or avoidance. Choose tools and routines that feel natural and motivating, ensuring that tracking remains a supportive ally rather than a chore. Visualize your progress through graphs, charts, or summary notes if that helps maintain enthusiasm. Seeing upward trends creates excitement and reinforces your belief in your potential. Remember that your unique journey matters. Avoid comparing your progress to others. Your growth pace depends on your starting point, efforts, and circumstances. Tracking your own path keeps you focused on what truly counts, your personal evolution. Celebrate milestones with rewards or acknowledgements. These positive reinforcements anchor your motivation and transform daily tracking into a gratifying experience. Use your tracked insights to tailor your practice sessions for maximum impact. For instance, if you notice frequent pauses or filler words, design exercises that specifically target these areas. Maintain a mindset of curiosity throughout the process. Approach each speaking session as an experiment and learning opportunity, rather than a performance to judge yourself by. Engage in community or group challenges where you track speaking efforts alongside others. Shared goals and accountability enhance motivation and provide valuable social support. Review your progress not just for technical skills but for emotional growth. Notice how your relationship with fear, anxiety and vulnerability shifts as you persist in your practice. Incorporate moments of gratitude in your tracking. Acknowledge your courage to speak and your commitment to growth, which nourishes your spirit and determination. Use your tracked progress to identify the types of speaking that energize and inspire you most. Focus more on those contexts to cultivate passion and authenticity. Remember that tracking is a tool to empower you, not to trap you in self-criticism. Approach your records with kindness and objectivity. Build a legacy of confidence by consistently investing in your speaking skills. Each tracked day contributes to a reservoir of experience and mastery that you carry forward. Stay open to evolving your tracking process as your needs change. Flexibility ensures that the system continues to serve you effectively. Learn to balance structured practice with spontaneous speaking moments. Both are valuable, and tracking helps you maintain this harmony. Appreciate the connection between tracking and accountability. Knowing you will review your efforts regularly increases your commitment to follow through. Use your tracking to uncover hidden strengths you may have overlooked. Sometimes breakthroughs come from unexpected progress in subtle areas. Recognize that daily tracking develops discipline beyond speaking. The habit spills over into other parts of life, enhancing productivity and focus. Celebrate the journey itself, not just the destination. Every day you commit to tracking and practice, you are investing in your future self-success. Practice patience when progress stalls. Use your tracking notes to identify possible causes and adjust your approach rather than giving up. Leverage technology to make tracking easier. Use apps, reminders, or voice memos that fit seamlessly into your routine. Focus on the joy of growth. Tracking reveals how much you are evolving and deepens your connection to the process. Use your documented progress as a source of inspiration on tough days. When motivation wanes, looking back at how far you've come reignites your drive. Maintain clarity about why you are tracking. Keep your ultimate goals front and center to fuel your daily efforts. Adapt your tracking to fit your goals as they evolve. For example, if you want to improve public speaking, focus your records on those sessions. Share your tracked progress with trusted supporters who encourage you. External acknowledgement strengthens confidence and accountability. Use your progress data to identify when to push harder and when to rest. Balance prevents burnout and sustains long-term growth. Integrate tracking into your personal brand. Confidence in speaking is a powerful asset in all areas of life and work. Remember that tracking is a celebration of your courage to face challenges and improve every day. Commit to the process even when results seem slow. The compounding effect of daily tracking and practice is unstoppable. Your voice is a tool of influence and change. Tracking your progress sharpens that tool and makes every word count. Keep pushing forward with faith in your ability to grow. Each tracked day brings you closer to the confident, powerful speaker you are destined to become.